Hi, it's Lee and welcome to the Tesla Economist. So in 2021, we saw the EV bubble. We had companies like Nikola, Rivian, Lucid and NIO all hit crazy high valuations as their stock prices went crazy. Yes, sure, at the heart of that movement was of course Tesla, the only one that could legitimately actually make a profit and be worthy of such a valuation, or at least potentially get back there again. As for the others, I can't ever see them getting back to those valuations again, if they even survive, which doesn't look overly likely either. But that bubble seems to have gone for now, at least for the time being. It would appear that the EV movement will be slower than we thought, due to the fact it takes so long to produce the batteries. Aside from LFP, which is why BYD are growing so much, along with the fact that they are also using hybrids to double their effort. Obviously, a path Tesla will never go down. But as any hyperbull will tell you, Tesla is not just a car company. It's an energy, robotics, software, hardware, etc. company as well. And of course, it's also an AI company too. In fact, it's likely the largest AI company in the world, due to the amount of resources, research and development that has been invested into Tesla's self-driving and Dojo training computer, which comes down to Tesla's AI for full self-driving. That is the specialized AI that Tesla are developing. It's not the same as a tool like ChatGPT that can give you answers. Tesla's AI can navigate and attempt to drive as close to a human driver as possible, or eventually better, then exponentially better, as it keeps learning and training more. Obviously, Microsoft will be taking advantage the most when it comes to ChatGPT, and will eventually do what they can in order to work out how to monetize it, which may not be that easy, despite how powerful an application it is and its ever-growing popularity. Just like how when internet search began, they didn't know how to monetize it best, until eventually the pay-per-click model came about and made search incredibly profitable. And Microsoft is working with their search engine Bing to incorporate ChatGPT in the hopes that they may actually end up being competitive with Google. So much so, a lot of people think that Google is in serious trouble, although I doubt that, at least anytime soon. Of course, Google aren't taking this sitting down and have their own AI chatbot called Bard, but so far it doesn't seem to be quite the standard of ChatGPT. But given how fast AI is moving, it could very possibly catch up and likely be an even competitor with Microsoft. ChatGPT has certainly got the world's attention of just how powerful AI really can be, and to stages that we're at already. As a result, Microsoft's stock price has shot up due to the anticipation that may also be a leader in AI, and Google stock has actually gone down when the results of their version were relatively disappointing. AI is certainly becoming a very popular topic as a result now, and looks like it might potentially be what ignites the next stock bubble. I know a lot of people think we may be entering a recession or a stock market crash or something along those lines, as all the signs are there, but you really never can predict what the stock market will do. It's possibly the most unpredictable thing in the world. The market could decide to get excited about AI and run like the dot-com bubble or equivalent, and any other company that is potentially associated with AI will see their stock price start to run. I'm not saying this is likely, I'm just saying this tends to be what happens. It's human psychology. A new paradigm is discovered, and everyone thinks it's going to change the world, and no one wants to miss out. Then there'll be all these other startups that have AI in their name, and they will jump on the bandwagon too, just like companies that had .com in their name, and kind of like we just saw in crypto. And like I said, one major AI company would be Tesla. Tesla don't need to offer some sort of AI chatbot or search. They just need the market or investors to believe that AI is the future. It's possible and it's going to be here to stay. Seeing the progress of other AI technologies would further add to the credibility and belief that Tesla will achieve FSD, and possibly sooner than the market believed. As Elon says, there'll be no greater asset appreciation in history compared to when FSD can actually drive better than a human. If the market starts to believe this and investors don't want to miss out, then Tesla's stock price could really go for a wild ride. The last time it hit all-time highs was mainly due to the renewable movement and EVs, as the other companies that also went on that ride were nowhere close to offering anything capable in terms of FSD. Definitely nothing compared to Tesla, even back then. Well, even now, no one has caught up to where Tesla was even back then. And EVs looked profitable and that they were going to replace ICE, hence why the stock ran so high. But like we said, FSD will add so much more value to EVs or autos that the stock could possibly run to new all-time highs. Every investor's favourite words. There's also a chance that robotics may bubble too, but it feels fairly certain that AI is the latest buzzword in town and making its way to Wall Street. Having said that, of course Tesla are using AI in their robots too. Tesla's FSD is able to be used in their robots, which means they can fully self-walk, or not just walk, do all sorts of jobs. We might even get an update soon on the progress of the robots, possibly on Investor Day, or perhaps the plan for the robots as part of Master Plan Part 3. But the point is, Tesla is the only company that is making AI robots for applications rather than just chat. If the market starts to believe, and Tesla are convincing enough, that they are actually capable of making an AI robot that can replace at least some labour, perhaps in manufacturing, like on the Tesla production line, then Tesla's stock price could hit some serious highs. Even though these robots may not be in production for several more years or so, and stock price may come back down after that, it's more about the psychology of a bubble and the anticipation, the what if factor. What if Tesla make labour robots, and how valuable would that be to the economy and the company? It's an investment you wouldn't want to miss out on. Of course, the Tesla hyperbulls have already priced all this in and are patiently waiting, but the rest of the market isn't close to believing it. As if I recall, I think the stock price actually dropped a couple of percent after we were shown a prototype of the Tesla bot. It was too unbelievable. Belief. That's what it's about. Tesla give us these moonshots like robotaxis or even the Cybertruck, but the market has yet to have really caught on. But we know as investors, if and when Tesla pull any of them off, then the stock will be worth a fortune. It's simply not something you want to risk missing out on. The market will get ahead of itself though, just like it did with the dot-com bubble, or South Sea bubble, or Mississippi bubble, or any other bubble. Eventually all bubbles do pop, and the posers likely go to zero. But the legitimate companies do remain, only we tend to discover that the paradigm was not as big as we thought. For example, people won't just buy everything online. Retail stores are still necessary. People like to shop. And Amazon still took a long time to become the size it was today. And the mania may rise from investors believing that AI could replace labour, just like they thought websites would replace all retail, only to eventually discover that the robots or AI are not capable of doing everything as much as people expected in replacing all labour, and perhaps it's more like it ends up being labour using AI that replaces labour not using AI, and people are still required for jobs. But AI may certainly have their place in the labour force, even as assistants to many occupations, just like e-commerce websites assist as an alternative way to buy through many businesses. Also, in lower socioeconomic nations, the labour cost is significantly lower, and it may not be feasible to replace a lot of it with robots. It's likely ideal to replace labour in nations that are the highest paid, with probably the most simple jobs. Now, obviously, I don't know when an AI bubble might occur. We might end up going through a recession first, or all sorts of things. The point is that it feels very likely that will be the next bubble, and Tesla is once again positioned itself to take advantage of it. But of course, the labour that the robots can replace are incredibly valuable, given that they can potentially work about 24 hours a day, perhaps aside from needing to charge their batteries, possibly faster and more efficient too. If they can work 24 hours a day and replace labour that's $30 an hour, then they're worth at least $5,000 a week, or $250,000 a year. Yet Tesla are building them from abundant resources, and obviously Tesla's greatest advantage is meant to eventually be manufacturing, implying Tesla could build these perhaps $10,000 or so, yet offer hundreds of thousands of dollars of value each year. Anyway, in a bubble, it's not about having to show the market how profitable you are, it's about the market believing just how profitable you can be. But if we can go through an AI bubble, then this may be how Tesla hits new all-time highs the earliest. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.